Good morning. All right, before we get started, remember to share and invite others to join us for our morning sadhana. Another quick announcement as well. This coming Saturday is Gita Jayanti. So from 5 p.m. to 8:30, 9, starting at 5 p.m., I'm going to be reading the entire Bhagavad Gita in English. So that's this coming Saturday at 5 p.m. So you can join me here. It'll happen live. It takes about 4-5 hours, depending on the speed with which I read. So when you join, make sure you are comfortable and ready to hear what the entire Bhagavad Gita is about. All right, so let's begin our morning japa. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. This chapter 6, text 47. Krishna says to Arjuna, of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service unto me, is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. So in the previous verse, Krishna said, a yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the fruitive worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. What is a yogi? A yogi, we found out the definition in chapter 7, text 15. Chaturvidha bhajantamam jhana sukriti norjuna artho jignasu artharthi gyani cha bharatarshab. Krishna says 4 types of people. Begin includes me. The distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and one who is searching for knowledge of the absolute. So these 4 types of people are described as yogis, pious people who begin Chaturvidha bhajante mam. They begin a devotional practice in Krishna. We come back to this verse. Krishna says, of all these 4 types of people, the one with great faith, Shraddhavan, is the highest, among other things, which we'll explore tomorrow. But Shraddhavan, the one with the highest faith, is the highest of all the yogis. In chapter 16, or is it 17? 16. No, chapter 17 of Bhagavad Gita, there's a chapter called Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. The 3 divisions of Shraddha, the 3 types of faith, types of guna. Faith, Shraddha, in Tamaguna, can be described as faith where we need to understand and experience the result of a spiritual process, right? In other words, an example is the story of Dhruva Maharaj. After Dhruva Maharaj was insulted by his father, he went running to his mother, Suniti, and said, my father has thrown me off his lap. I want justice. Not so much justice. I want to gain riches that are greater than my father, so I can no longer be shunned. If I'm the richest person, the most wealthy person, the most powerful person, then I cannot be shunned by others. So his mother, Suniti, says, well, if the Supreme lives in the forest, and if you go to the forest, then as others have achieved greatness by going to the forest and going to the Supreme, then you will also achieve greatness. This is an example of Shraddha in Tamaguna, right? Dhruva Maharaj, he was a 5-year-old child, so of course there is some, I wouldn't say discrepancy, there is some, his Shraddha is neophyte, is very immature because he's so young. But he needed to understand that, okay, this spiritual process, it's effective because my mother has said so, and because she is giving evidence based on the experiences of those who've tried it. In other words, there's some evidence that if I go down this path, there will be a result. So this is Shraddha in the mode of Tamaguna. Then you have Shraddha in Rajaguna. This is where we have to, similar to Tamaguna, that this has been done by others and they've experienced the results. So then we embark on a spiritual process. But if we don't get the results in what we consider a reasonable amount of time, if we lose patience in the process of devotional service, we lose patience in the process of yoga, then we give it up. And that brings us back to the verse where Arjuna asks Krishna, what happens to the unsuccessful yogi, the one who has given up, the one who has lost patience with the process, has given up yoga? What happens to that person? Has it been a waste of time for them? So that is Shraddha, that is faith on the level of Rajaguna. You embark on a spiritual process, you do not get what you want in a particular period of time, you lose patience and you give it up. You say, oh, this is not working, it's for the birds. That's Shraddha in the mode of passion. Krishna says, don't worry, Shraddha in Sattvaguna, this is where there is a dedicated, sustained practice in their yoga process, in their endeavor to connect with the Supreme. And there is no giving up, no matter what the external situation may be. They always stay in the process of their spiritual life. A nice example I like to give is of Draupadi, and actually many other devotees, but Draupadi particularly, when she was being disrobed, if we listen to that and if we explore the development of that story, she does everything in her power to make sure this doesn't happen, to protect herself, obviously. But also, and the Mahabharata describes this very nicely, her interest was also in making sure the principles in such an egregious manner. And she did everything within her power. She appealed to her husbands who failed her. She appealed to Bhishma, to the elders, everything in her power. And even then, when there was no result, her faith was in place. It was always there, but she showed her faith by just surrendering to Krishna. And whatever Krishna would or would not do, she was satisfied with. However, we see that later on, when she meets Krishna, when the Pandavas are in the forest, she asks Krishna, why did you allow this to happen? And she kind of gets on Krishna's case. Not kind of, she gets on Krishna's case. She lays into Lord Krishna. But this is Shraddha in the mode of goodness. That the devotee, the yogi, does not yogic activity, engage in their obligations according to dharma and so on. And as they endeavor to connect with the Supreme, regardless of what the outcome may or may not be, their dedication, their commitment to the yoga process remains strong and firm. But this is Shraddha, this is faith that is mixed with the modes of material energy. Rajaguna, Tamaguna, Sattva-guna, these are material energies. There is also Shraddha that is beyond these three material energies of Tamas, Rajas, and Sattva. And that is Shraddha that is Shuddha Sattva, right? It is transcendental. And we see this in the relationship between Kunti Devi and Krishna, right? Kunti, it has nothing to do with, in fact, Kunti says, bring all the calamities upon us again. And because we see you, you have to come to our rescue more often, and we get to see you more and more. Lord Chaitanya also says, right? Crush me by your embrace, make me brokenhearted. That's irrelevant. My love for you is unending. It is unconditional, regardless of any reciprocation. So even in the mode of Sattva Guna, there is a desire for reciprocation. Right? Draupadi had a desire for reciprocation from Krishna, which we see is evidence in the conversation she has with Krishna in Kamyaka forest. But Kunti Devi, Lord Chaitanya, have no desire for any kind of reciprocation. That is Shraddhavan. That is Shraddha at the highest level of Shuddha Sattva. So coming back to this verse, Krishna is saying, Yogi namapi sarvesham madgatinantaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yomam samayukta tamomata. The yogi with the greatest faith, classifications of yogi, where there's Shraddha, is on many different levels, Tamas, Rajas, and Sattva. But the yogi whose Shraddha is Shuddha Sattva, a yogi whose Shraddha is of the highest level, then that yogi is most intimately united with me and is the highest of all other yogis. So this gives us an indication of where our Shraddha is in our relationship with the Supreme and how we are developing spiritually. So we'll continue exploring this verse for the rest of this week. And also, we'll go back to having our 7:30 p.m. sadhana. So you can join me tonight at 7:30 p.m. at the end of our work day. And we can chant some more japa for 15, 20 minutes. Remember to share this with others. We're having about 10 or 15 people are joining for our japa sessions. So share with friends and family and sharing japa and sadhana. Have a wonderful day. Hari Hari.